She stood there in her bright orange vest, blocking the fresh asphalt like she owned it. "You can't just build roads around here," she yelled, waving a clipboard as two men with HOA badges unloaded a metal gate from their truck. I wiped the sweat off my forehead, trying to keep calm. "This is my land, Karen. County records show this road's on my parcel." But she just smirked. "Not anymore. HOA voted. It's part of the community now." Before I could even respond, one of her guys drilled a private HOA access only sign right into the ground on my side of the fence. The noise of the drill echoed across the open fields, and every thud hit harder than the last. My stomach twisted. I had just spent my entire savings paving this road so I could bring equipment to the new barn. Then I heard sirens. Karen's voice turned smug. "Good, the cops are here. Maybe they'll explain the rules to you." She folded her arms like she'd already won. The deputy stepped out of the car, hand resting on his holster, eyes bouncing between me and the shiny new gate. "What's going on here?" he asked. Karen jumped in before I could open my mouth. "He's trespassing on community property. He built this road illegally." She sounded so sure, like she'd rehearsed it. I stayed quiet for a second, letting her dig her own hole. Then I looked at the officer and said, "Sir, would you mind checking the plat map in your database? The land's under my name. Always has been." Karen laughed. "Oh, please, we've managed this land for years." But for the first time, I saw a flicker of doubt in the deputy's eyes. He turned toward his car and muttered, "Let me verify something." Karen's smirk faded just a little. That's when I whispered, "You really shouldn't have installed that gate." Because what she didn't know yet was that I had the county surveyor's signature and a drone recording of them trespassing on camera.
Karen's confidence started to crack when the deputy came back holding his tablet. "Ma'am," he said slowly, "this parcel belongs to Mr. Walker. County records show no HOA jurisdiction here." Her fake smile froze for half a second. Then she snapped, "That must be a mistake. This whole stretch has always been maintained by the HOA." I folded my arms. "Maintained? You mean neglected? I spent 6 months getting permits and clearing this path myself. You didn't lift a finger." Karen's face turned red. "That's irrelevant. This affects community access. Our members use this route daily." The deputy raised an eyebrow. "So you're saying your members drive through his private land?" He turned to me. "Sir, do you have proof of ownership with you?" Without a word, I opened the truck door and pulled out the laminated deed, complete with survey marks and coordinates. I handed it over, watching Karen's expression fall apart. The deputy took one look and nodded. "Yep, matches county files exactly." Karen's voice turned shrill. "You can't just build things wherever you want." I took a slow step closer, keeping my tone calm but firm. "That's the thing, Karen. I didn't build wherever I wanted. I built where I own." She looked ready to explode. "Fine. If you think this is over, it's not. HOA will take this to the board." She motioned to her workers to leave, but the two men hesitated, glancing at the officer. He crossed his arms. "Hold on. Before you go, I'm going to need you to remove that gate. It's clearly installed on private property." Karen's eyes went wide. "What? That's not fair." The deputy gave her a long, hard look. "Neither is trespassing, ma'am. Unless you want me to file a report, you'll take it down now." Her crew quietly started unscrewing the bolts, metal clanking in the afternoon air. Karen stood still, her jaw tight, glaring at me like I'd just stolen her crown. I leaned against my truck and said, almost casually, "You really should stop acting like this land belongs to you, because next time I might not be this patient." She didn't reply, but I could see it in her eyes. This wasn't over. That evening, just as the sun dipped behind the barn, I heard the faint grind of metal outside. My gut tightened. I stepped out with a flashlight and froze. The gate was back. Only this time, it was welded to the posts. Karen's SUV was parked nearby, her headlights cutting through the dust.
She leaned out the window shouting, "Let's see you move this one, cowboy," before driving off. I stood there in disbelief, the smell of fresh welding still in the air. She'd done it again, trespassed, vandalized, and mocked the law like it meant nothing. By morning, my phone was full of missed calls. A neighbor texted me, "HOA meeting today. They're saying you blocked emergency access." My heart sank, but I couldn't help but laugh at the irony. She blocked my road and accused me of blocking hers. I showed up at the community center, boots still muddy from the farm. The whole board was there. Karen, at the front, acting like a queen at her throne. "She's violated multiple HOA regulations," she announced. "We're issuing fines until the gate is restored under our control." I raised my hand calmly. "Before you finish, can I show something?" She rolled her eyes but nodded, pretending to be generous. I connected my tablet to the projector. On the screen played crystal-clear drone footage, time-stamped, geotagged, showing Karen's men welding that gate on my property in the middle of the night. The room fell dead silent, except for a few shocked gasps. Karen stammered, "That's fake!" But everyone could see the HOA truck logo on camera. Then I pulled out a folded letter and placed it on the table. "This is from the county land office. They've confirmed the property line, and they're investigating the HOA for unauthorized modification of private infrastructure." Karen's mouth opened, but no sound came out. I looked around the room. "You all wanted to talk about rules. Let's start with the one about respecting private ownership." A few board members shifted uncomfortably. One whispered, "Karen, you didn't tell us that." She stood frozen, her face pale, realizing her story was collapsing right there in front of everyone. But she still managed to hiss, "You think this scares me? You have no idea who you're dealing with." I smiled faintly. "You're right about that, because next time it won't be the board you're answering to, it'll be the sheriff." Karen didn't show up for a few days after that meeting, and honestly, I hoped she'd finally gotten the message. But I was wrong. One morning I found tire tracks cutting through my field, and fresh survey flags driven into the soil, bright orange, marking what looked like a new property line. My chest burned. She wasn't done. She was trying to steal the land, piece by piece. I drove straight to the county office and handed over the footage, emails, and every fake notice she'd ever posted on my fence. The clerk's eyes widened. "Sir, this isn't just a property dispute. These are forged documents." Within an hour, a county investigator was on his way to the HOA headquarters. By evening, the news broke across local stations. HOA chairwoman under investigation for property fraud. The reporters stood right outside Karen's fancy house while police cars filled her driveway. She tried to talk her way out, blaming her assistants, but the evidence was too clear. Her signature was everywhere. When I walked outside the next morning, the gate was gone. The road I built was open again, sunlight reflecting off the blacktop. The sheriff himself stopped by, nodding toward the empty posts. "County ordered it removed. She's being charged with trespassing and falsifying records." I looked out toward the horizon, the same land my grandfather farmed 50 years ago, and finally took a deep breath. "Appreciate it, Sheriff. I just wanted what was mine." He smiled. "That's how it should be. Folks forget, this country's built on that right." Weeks later, I got a letter from the county thanking me for exposing the fraud. The HOA was being dissolved, and Karen was banned from serving on any community board again. Her name was everywhere, for all the wrong reasons. As I drove down that freshly paved road, wind cutting through the open window, I couldn't help but think about everything that happened. She tried to gate my land, twist the law, even humiliate me. But in the end, truth and patience won. I stopped at the end of the driveway, stepped out, and ran my hand across the smooth asphalt. "My land, my sweat, my right," I said softly. Then I smiled. "You can build gates, you can lie, you can call cops, but you can't steal freedom."